The human body is full of mysteries, and one of the strangest is crawling on us right now. Every adult human carries tiny creatures living on their skin, hidden inside hair follicles and oil glands. They are called Demodex mites. Almost everyone has them, but very few people know they exist. Demodex mites are incredibly small, only about 0.3 of a millimeter long. That means you cannot see them with the naked eye. Under a microscope, however, they look like elongated, worm-like organisms with stubby legs near their heads. Their bodies are transparent, and they move slowly, crawling through the pores of our skin. There are two main species that live on humans. Demodex follicularum is usually found in hair follicles, especially on the face. Demodex brevis prefers to hide inside sebaceous glands, which produce the oil that keeps our skin from drying out. Both species feed on the same things: oil, dead skin cells, and tiny fragments of organic matter that collect in the pores. Their favorite places are the face and eyelids. The forehead, cheeks, nose, chin, eyebrows, and eyelashes are especially rich in oil, making them perfect homes for these mites. They can also be found on the scalp, ears, and chest, but in smaller numbers. By adulthood, almost everyone carries them. Babies usually do not have Demodex, but as soon as puberty begins and the skin starts producing more oil, the mites move in. By the time we reach middle age, Demodex are essentially universal. Their numbers often rise even higher in older people, partly because oil production changes with age, and partly because the immune system is less effective at keeping their population under control. The life cycle of a Demodex mite is short, lasting only about 2 to 3 weeks. At night, when it is dark, they crawl out of the follicles and onto the surface of the skin to mate. They avoid light, so during the day they retreat deeper into pores and glands. After mating, the females lay eggs inside the follicles. These eggs hatch into larvae which go through several stages before becoming adults. All of this happens within our skin without us ever feeling a thing. Most of the time, Demodex mites are harmless. In fact, they may even help in small ways. By eating excess oil and dead skin, they might prevent pores from becoming clogged. Scientists believe they have lived with humans for millions of years, evolving alongside us in a delicate balance. But sometimes that balance is disrupted. When Demodex multiply in large numbers, or when the immune system reacts strongly to them, they can contribute to health problems. The best known is rosacea, a chronic skin condition that causes redness, visible blood vessels, and acne-like bumps, especially on the face. Research shows that people with rosacea often have far higher populations of Demodex mites. Scientists think that the mites, or the bacteria living inside them, may trigger inflammation that makes rosacea worse. Another common issue is blepharitis, which is inflammation of the eyelids. Demodex can infest the roots of eyelashes and the oil glands that line the eyelids. This can cause redness, itching, and crusting around the lashes. In some cases, it leads to styes or blocked oil glands known as chalasia. People with chronic eye irritation or recurrent styes often discover that Demodex mites are part of the problem. Demodex have also been connected to pityriasis follicularum, a condition where the skin becomes rough, scaly, and itchy, almost like sandpaper. Some patients develop acne-like eruptions when the mites become too numerous. And on the scalp, heavy infestations have been studied as a possible factor in certain types of hair loss. By blocking follicles and triggering inflammation, the mites may weaken hair roots and contribute to thinning. Beyond skin and eyes, researchers have begun asking a more surprising question. Could Demodex mites influence other diseases in the body? Some evidence suggests that the answer may be yes. For example, people with rosacea, a condition often linked to Demodex, appear to have higher risks of neurological problems such as migraines and even Parkinson's disease. One theory is that chronic skin inflammation, triggered partly by mites, may release chemical signals that affect the nervous system. There are also hints that Demodex could play a role in autoimmune disorders. In diseases like lupus, the immune system is already hyperactive. The constant presence of mighty proteins, waste, and eggs may act as an extra source of irritation, fueling inflammation in sensitive individuals. Another area of research involves cardiovascular health. Chronic inflammation on the skin, such as that seen in rosacea, has been linked to higher risks of heart disease. If Demodex mites are one factor driving that inflammation, then indirectly they could contribute to larger health problems beyond the skin. Even cancer has been discussed. Some studies suggest that long-term mite infestations by constantly irritating skin cells and triggering inflammation might play a role in basal cell carcinoma, the most common type of skin cancer. This idea is still controversial and far from proven, but it shows how scientists are beginning to think about Demodex not just as harmless passengers, but as organisms that may influence health in unexpected ways. Of course, not everyone with mites gets sick. In fact, most people never have any symptoms at all. The difference lies in density and balance. Having a few mites is normal. Having too many in one area, or having an immune system that reacts strongly to them, is what creates problems. So how do doctors detect Demodex when they suspect trouble? One method is to gently scrape a small patch of skin and examine it under a microscope. Another is to remove a few eyelashes and look for mites clinging to the roots. Modern imaging techniques can even observe them directly inside living skin. If high numbers are found and symptoms are present, there are treatments to bring the population back under control. Topical creams containing ivermectin are one of the most effective, reducing both mites and inflammation. Metronidazole creams are also commonly used. For eyelid infestations, doctors often recommend cleansers made with tea tree oil, which contains an ingredient toxic to mites. These treatments have to be used carefully, especially around the eyes, to avoid irritation. In severe cases, oral medications may be prescribed, but the goal is never total eradication. It is impossible to completely eliminate Demodex mites. They are part of our skin's ecosystem and always come back. The real goal is balance, reducing their numbers enough that they no longer cause irritation or disease. There are also many myths about these creatures. They are not the same as scabies. Scabies, mites, burrow deep into the skin and cause intense itching and rashes, while Demodex remain in follicles and glands and usually go unnoticed. They are not parasites that spread through casual contact in public. They are part of our normal biology, passed down quietly within families and communities. So what can we do to keep them in check? The best approach is simple skincare, gentle cleansing, avoiding heavy or oily cosmetics, and keeping the skin barrier healthy all help maintain balance. For eyelid health, warm compresses and proper lid hygiene are effective. And most importantly, treating underlying skin conditions like rosacea or seborrheic dermatitis helps prevent mite overgrowth. In the end, Demodex mites are a reminder that we are never truly alone. Our skin is an ecosystem, shared with bacteria, fungi, and even tiny animals that have been with us for millions of years. Most of the time, they are harmless companions, quietly living their short lives without disturbing us. Occasionally, when their numbers rise too high, they contribute to disease. And perhaps in subtle ways we are only beginning to understand, they may influence our health far beyond the surface of the skin. They are not villains to be feared, but they are not meaningless either. They are part of the story of what it means to be human, a complex, shared existence between our bodies and the countless tiny life forms that call us home. Subscribe for more fascinating facts about the human body, and don't forget to turn on notifications.